Okay, moving on to chapter 8, section 8, 8.8, the percent proportion. So last section we talked about percent equation. But this section we're going to talk about percent proportion. Now remember, a proportion is where you have one ratio, like 1/2, and you make it equal to another ratio, like I don't know, 4/8. Those. It's where you have one ratio is equal to the other, thus making a proportion. That's where it gets its name from. Um, when we do a percent proportion, part of the proportion is going to be unknown. It's going to be an n or an x, whatever variable you assign it. So let me get into it. So the percent proportion kind of goes like this. So you have your two ratios, all right? And and it kind of depends on how you want to do it, but I always do the left side, it represents the percent. All right, so you're gonna do the percent over 100. Okay, so if it says the percent 15%, you're going to do 15 over 100. If it says the percent is 9%, you're going to do 9 over 100. Or if it says what percent, you're going to do n over 100 because we don't know what the percent is. All right, so that's we'll call that the percent side right there. Okay, so that's the percent side. Um, and this could be totally switched where it's on the right side. It doesn't really matter, but the way I kind of show it, the way I teach it is always this way. All right. On the other side, the other ratio, we're going to do the part on top, and then we're going to do the base on the bottom. Remember, the base is just another name for the whole. Okay. And that now on that side, remember, just like I said with percents, there's some tricks here that you can kind of follow. They're a little gimmicky, but they do work. They do work. Remember, if you're ever wondering, like, hey, what's the part? Look for the word is. Okay, I know it's like a linking verb right there, but it's pretty helpful. It actually does work quite a bit. And the base is usually denoted by the word of. Okay, but that's it's a preposition, but that's a good way to find it. And when you solve using a percent proportion, you're going to use cross products to solve. That's cross multiplication. That just means you're multiplying diagonally like this. That's what you're doing. All right, and all right, let's jump into our first problem right here. We've got finding the part. So one of the three types of proportions you must know is finding the part proportion. So you must set up the proportion like this. So in the percent or in the proportion here where the part is the unknown, we're going to set it up like this, where we're going to put the percent here over 100, and the percent or the part. I keep saying percent, but the part is we don't know. So that's going to be the n. Okay, and then you're going to put the base down here. So the unknown part right there, the part that we don't know, the part that we're looking for ultimately is going to be that. That's the part. All right, so we're going to solve all these using the percent proportion. All right, so right here, so find 45%. So 45% that's the percent. So we're just going to go ahead and write it 45 over 100. That's your percent side, right? So 45 over 100. And then right here, of 35. Now, of is an indicator, like I said, of the base, right, of the whole. So 35 is down here, and then you're just going to put an n right there. Okay, and then that's all there is to it, when you're setting it up, at least. I mean, setting it up is really kind of key. I mean, if you don't set it up right, you're not going to solve it right. You can have perfect math after you set it up, but if you didn't set it up the right way, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. So make sure you have it all set up correctly. So 100 times n, that's pretty easy. That's 100n. And then you're going to do 45 times 35. That's 1575. And then we're going to divide by 100. Divide by 100. Dividing by 100 is really easy. Just move the decimal over 2 places to the left. And then I got 15.75. Just like that. Okay. So there you go. All right. Finding the whole. also known as the base, right? So the second of three types of proportions you must know is finding the whole portion. You must set up the portion like this. Okay, so again, just like in the last one, we're going to have the percent side, which is going to be a percent over 100. All right, this time we know what the part is, but we don't know what the whole is. So the n is going to be right there. All right, so in this next example here, we got 8% of what number is 90? So percent size is going to be 8 over 100 because we know what the percent is, 8%, 8 hundredths. All right, is 90, is indicating that's the part. So 90 over n. All right, so now just cross multiply here. So 8 times n, and then we're going to do 100 times 90. So 8 times n is 8n, and then 100 times 90 is 9,000. Okay, and then we're just going to divide by 8. So 9,000 divided by 8 is 1,125. All right, and now finding the percent. The third of the three types of proportions you must know is finding the percent. All right, so let's set it up like this. So this time the percent is what we don't know, so it's going to be n over 100. And then the side is always going to be part over base, or the whole. Okay. So 24 is what percent? So what percent means we don't know what the percent is. So n over 100 equals, and 24 is your part, 30 is your whole. And the cheat for that, remember, the is a good indicator of your part. The of is a good indicator that you're dealing with the whole or the base. Okay, and then we're just going to cross multiply this. All right, so 30 times n is 30n. And then 24 times 100 is 2,400. And then divide both sides by 30. All right, and so when you do that, you cancel out those zeros right there, and 240 divided by 3 is 80, right? So it's going to be 80% because we're looking for a percent. Make sure you put the percent sign on it. And then right here, you can pause the video and then try these out on your own and just hit unpause when you're ready to check them. And this is just mixed practice right here. But I'm just going to go through these without talking about them. I'm just going to kind of write them down.